G'day folks, welcome back to the channel for episode 4 of our dual-wielding dervish playthrough. This episode we're going for a bit of a run, so starting up down here, we're going to the Conclave of the Three, and today's mission is to get ourselves a pair of scorpion tails to replace Pasquill's tail. Now, you can do this the long way or you can do this the short way. I'm going to do it the short way. The short way basically involves doing no quests at all and just running straight to the guy that I want to kill. So with that in mind, actually, first I'm going to get another movement skill because I'm not planning on killing everything, so I want to be able to skip things. Teleport or shield charge? We'll take the teleport. Okay. So now we can teleport, although tiny rocks will get in the way. So the plan is basically I'm going to run through the Forgotten Gods content until I get to Ganavakar, and then I'm going to kill him until his tail drops, basically. And I want 2 of his tail, preferably with poison mods on them. So let's go for a bit of a walk. I will be getting all of the rifts on the way, and we'll probably come back at a later point to do the majority of the quests. But for right now, we're just going to run through. If you don't really know the lay of the land, so to speak, you can fight your way through here for sure. XP is never a bad thing. But I'm not really interested in killing stuff for this particular run through here. And like I said, I'm not going to do any of the quests either, so we are just going to run past everything. And hopefully not get stuck in any stairs and mobbed. That's what the rift tear was for. Try and prevent that from happening. And I think I've taken the wrong turn here. Yeah. Go up this way, I think. So just basically run through, and anytime you get stuck, you can just use the rift tear, or if you took a different different cult, just make sure you take the movement skill that lets you use it without a target, basically. And Shadow Strike is always fun, lets you skip so many things. It's also pretty fast as far as cooldown goes as well. Okay, so far we are up to here, and where we are heading is just here before the Howling Chasm. There is a giant scorpion there who we want to go say hello to. I think I will grab the Leovinus ring. Probably not going to use it though, but there is a devotion shrine in there as well that's worth getting. So I'm going to run back here into this little secret area. Air quotes secret, because I'm pretty sure most people know about it by now. Where there is a devotion shrine. Cool, relic. Glacier is cold damage, we're not using that, but every recipe counts. And then just over here is this urn cluster. So we'll always have a Leovinus ring in it, and it's usually worth keeping those. If you're going to play more than one character on each account, these are really good twink items. Level 10 required, and pretty good for Act 1. With that said, I'm not planning on making any other characters on this account, so it's probably not much good for me. And of course, this game is horrible when it comes to pathing for areas with stairs. Alright. hopefully, well actually not hopefully, I'm definitely going to take the left route through here because I want to avoid running into the Titanivore, but that is in the next little section. If you want to fight him, obviously you can. He's not super difficult, but at this point you're probably going to take a while to kill him just because you don't have a huge amount of damage yet. But if you want to fight him, you go to the right, just up ahead. And if you want to avoid him, you kind of stay more to the left. I think that's just after this gate here. So if you go, hang on, if you go right here, you're more likely to run into him. If you go left, you're more likely to be able to avoid him. He's usually sort of over here somewhere from memory. Okay, these guys here. We're looking for a bigger version of them, or that's where we're headed. He's not here. But already at the docks. I don't know why it's called a dock. There's no water in sight. Canned docks. Maybe at one point in time there was water here, but it's definitely dry now. Okay. Again, we're running through here. There is a devotion shrine in the top left. I'm going to ignore it for now. Also definitely ignoring that. And I'm not fighting him either, so we're just going to run past everything. That's the game plan, is just run. Okay, I think I'm more or less on the right track here. Can't see the rift gate on the screen yet, but there it is. Okay, Sunbeam Oasis. So we are here. We go across the river and up. As long as we're here, I think I'm going to try and get the book. There's a tome on a body sort of down here-ish, I think, which lets you use the inventor to re-roll sets. It's very useful. Probably will get it at some point anyway, but we may as well get it now since we're here. It's on this body right here, Canaan's corpse. There we go. And we just keep going. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff in this area. You can definitely do Forgotten Gods as like a proper playthrough now if you wanted to. It's just kind of, there isn't much I want from here aside from the tail, so it'd just be more XP and it would slow down the main campaign. So I'm going to come back here at a more appropriate level. Okay, this is the Sunbeam Oasis Rift. This is the last one we needed. So I'm going to do a little bit of farming, and I'm not going to make you watch it all. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kill Ganavakar one time here, and then I'm going to kill him a bunch of other times. Maybe I'll record the drops and put them up as a montage or something like that, but as you can see, the damage is not amazing. Actually, this is a little bit worrying for killing the boss. Oh, we'll see what happens. I got a decent amount of dot damage. Maybe the things I was hitting before were just particularly tanky. I think once we get one of his tail, damage is going to go up a lot. These are what, level 5 or 6 weapons or something like that? Require level 20. That's because of the the gallstones, but I think these are quite low level as far as weapons go. Maybe around level 10, so... The idea here is to try and engage him on his own. Because if you try and fight him with all this rubbish hitting you as well, the damage is going to stack up, and it's going to hurt. So he runs in circles around this next area. So if you just kind of hang out where you know he runs, so I'm pretty sure he runs around here at some point. You can just wait for him. I'm getting impatient because I'm recording, but there he is. And I've managed to do exactly what I said I didn't want to do, and get a bunch of his friends along for the ride. You do definitely want to dodge as many of his attacks as you can. He does a lot of damage though. He has reset there, and I'm going to let him go because I need to kill his friends off. When you first start killing him for his weapon, you are going to be incredibly weak compared to him, so you really need to get him on his own. And definitely try to dodge the attacks that you can see coming. Because as you saw there, I just took a ton of damage. Don't be afraid to disengage either. It's taking a while to kill him because, frankly, our damage is quite poor at this point in time. But just watch the health bar. Use your heal as needed. Don't be afraid to use the potions as well. Okay, he has dropped his weapon. It's required level 26, which is unfortunate. But if you look at that, the physical damage on it, 12 to 86 instead of 11 to 33. Righteous Fervor actually converts all of it. So because we're using this as our main attack, Righteous Fervor adds a little bit of flat acid and basically does whatever your main hand is at level 1. But this Strieg's Reproach converts all physical damage to acid. So as you can see, yep, here, Righteous Fervor does a tiny amount of vitality and piercing damage, and then a huge amount of acid and poison. So almost all of our damage is acid and poison. But that's going to be our weapon at level 26, and I'm going to reset this and kill him a few more times, and I'll bring you back when I'm done with the farming. And we're back, and I'm just killing him for a 4th time. He actually dropped me some pretty good weapons the first few times I killed him. I think this might actually be the 5th time. But I've got 3 weapons to choose from, and Chilled of Fervor is decent. That's the Chilled is worthless, but the Fervor is attack speed. I've also got Superior of the Venom Claw at 26, and then Plague Bearers at 24. Again, of the Aether is basically worthless, but the rest of it's nice. The other thing I actually did want to come to Forgotten Gods section 4 is there is a helmet MI here that I do want. I can't remember exactly what drops it though, so we're just gonna kill a bunch of stuff in here. I think it's one of the like the reanimated armor sets. I think it's one of them that actually drops it. Unfortunately, the damage is still quite low for this area. Being as you're supposed to come here around level, 50, 60, maybe even 70. Yeah, damage output is not amazing. I did make a couple of changes to the character while I was killing Ganavakar like 5 times. I put hang on, I'll actually show it. I'll just kill this guy first. I put a scaled hide on the chest, and I put an anti-venom salve on the boots, just bumping the acid resist I have up to 73% from like 56, I think it was. Something like that, maybe 53. If you're going to be fighting a boss that does a huge amount of acid damage, it's definitely a good idea to have a decent amount of acid resistance. and try not to get surrounded by these guys. They do a lot of damage. I think it's those guys, the yellow armors. I'll have to check which one it is, and may come back later and do this because typically when I've been farming for these in the past, it's always been 1 to 3-ish, pretty much full clears of the docks to get one of the hats to drop, and typically it has rubbish for stats, so I want a different one, and then you have to kill more stuff, and it just takes a while. So I think I'll come back and do that later when we have the levels to use these. The other thing as well is I had a level up worth of points previously that I noticed while I was killing Ganavakar. So I didn't spend them then. I wanted to do it while I was recording, so as you could kind of see where they got put. And I think it's going to go into the bar mostly. Nidala's is already at 8 out of 8, but when we take these off, where are we getting skill points to that from? It's interesting. It definitely has plus to skills from somewhere. I had thought it was on the weapons. It is on the weapons, so +3 there, +3 there, and the scorpion stings give you flat acid to righteous fervor. Okay, so Nidala's is going to fall back to level 2. Actually, let's just have a look at what it looks like. 22 acid damage, 16%. And then if we put these back on, 96, whoops, I did not mean to click that. 96 flat, bunch poison, yeah. And this basically triggers every time one of these other ones also triggers, so it's definitely worth keeping this at 8. I'm not sure it's worth 2 full levels worth of points, and also we've only got 15, 20 points in the bar, so it's also worth getting points in the bar. That's a shield bonus. This one is another proc. This is an AoE proc though. I think we leave that for now. I think 5 points in the bar and maybe 1 in here. Well, having said that, 3% cunning is nice. 4% damage to humans is okay. The rest of that really doesn't apply to us, so maybe we'll leave that alone. Do we want more defensive ability or just more armor? You know what? I'll put 1 point into Nidala's. Okay, I'll kill a few more of these. I think it's the yellow armors that I want. So, not over there. Here we go. Possessed armor, not so much. The animated keepers, I'm pretty sure, drop weapons, so that's not what I want. Eldritch Spirit, perhaps? No. Perhaps not. As I say, I'm pretty sure it's the animated armor, not those. So these guys are possessed. They have a white name. It's not them that I want. None of this, none of this. Okay, probably should fight this though. Guardian of Ishtal is not what I'm after either. Although, here we go, the Eldritch Armor. course he drops nothing. Okay, Eldritch Armor here as well. Coven Spaulders is good, so I have got the right monster, I think. There's a decent amount of stuff here to fight, so I'm just going to kill this off. Basically what I'm after is one of the helmets that these guys can drop. Is very nice for this build. It's not that one, unfortunately. Okay, not him. This guy. You look like you might have the helmet I want. Nope. What about you? Nope. None of that. That's all Dreeg stuff. It's possible I may have to reset and come back to fight these while not recording because nobody wants to watch someone farming. So what I might do is, again, stop the recording here and bring you back when I find the helmet. So I will see you then. And since I'm in the area, I may as well do this Desecrated Shrine as well. One of these, if you get all three of the uniques, one of them is a healer. I can't remember which one, but just be aware that if the thing you're fighting keeps healing, go fight the other one, because it's not that one. You want to kill the healer first, and the healer doesn't heal itself, so if the thing you're fighting is healing, you're fighting the wrong one. Also, I will mention that the Gunslinger's Jacket is good for enabling dual-wielding pistols if you're not playing an Inquisitor class. So if you get one of these, you might want to hang on to it if you're planning on making any gunslinging alts. So I'm going to go back to farming for the helmet, and I'll see you shortly. Okay, and we're back, and I've just hit level 25, so there's a couple of changes I'm going to make. First one I will note is that I have equipped the level 24 Ganavakar's Sting when I hit 24, and I've transferred the Vitriolic Gallstone over to that. That's the only change I've made to the character. I'm also going to put the Gluttony relic on now. More lifesteal is always good. And I've amassed quite an impressive collection of hats and armor from this area. Unfortunately, none of them are the hat that I want, so I'm going to keep farming. But I do have 2 levels worth of skill points to apply, and I'm going to go up to 25 in the Nightblade bar, and I'm going to put 1 point in Whirling Death for an additional proc. As far as stat points go, I'm going to keep putting them into physique, I think. More hit points is always good. 3,000 hit points at level 25 is quite low. It's not like I'm panicking kind of low, but I would like to have closer to like 4,000 by now. But like I said, this is a squishy build, so it's kind of is what it is. Anyway, I'm going to keep farming for a little bit longer before I give up, and I'll see you when I either have the item or give up. Hey, and wouldn't you know it, the very next pack, Corvin Gaze has dropped. So, Resistant of Readiness is pretty good, but realistically, I would have just taken, anything. So we get small loss in armor, but we get flat poison damage, we get percent acid damage, we get decent amount of resist on there, +3 to Nidala's hidden hand, flat acid damage and attack speed and poison damage over time, and it's a really good hat. It looks cool too. Right, so we're actually done. That's all of the MIs I wanted from Forgotten Gods. I've got a decent set of weapons as well, although something like Plague Bearers of the Venom Claw would be much nicer. Chances of that dropping are quite low. So we are going to go back to town and continue on with Act 2. Probably come back to Forgotten Gods at some point, but for right now, we're done. So we'll just vendor all of this, figure out where we're up to with Act 2, and continue on. I think of these two, probably this one. The fervor, I think, is actually going to give us a decent amount more if we, yeah, it's showing a bigger green number, but I think it also is a bigger green number. Because the Venom Claw is like the flat acid damage and the percent acid damage. Although it's not that much more percent. But yeah, attack speed is really nice. So we kind of look silly with that hat and this armor, so I'm gonna go actually use the illusionist for the first time, not ever, but in a while. I don't think we'll bother with that particular gloves, and I don't think there is a matching set of pants, so it's kind of whatever. That'll do. Actually, we're not going to bother. That's a lot of iron bits. I don't have them. All right. Speak to Barnabas, and then we are going to go and talk to Quaid. Okay. So Quaid is in Old Arkovia from memory. Yep. And there's another turn in Old Arkovia as well. And I think we were up to the underground portion of the Arkovian Undead. Okay, so we've already done all those quests. I found something for her as well. Okay, travel across the bridge. Right. So we were up to Twin Falls. Now with these MIs, you're going to notice the damage is really gone up. I'm killing things much faster now. These guys are big and tanky and they're dying pretty quickly. And all the trash around, pretty much as soon as one of the procs goes off, a lot of this stuff will just die very quickly. Once you sort of get a couple of MIs under your belt that are acid damage related, and especially once I put the other weapon on, things kind of start melting. You basically turn into a blender, which is kind of the fun of this build. The only problem, of course, is that the AoE damage, like the clearing damage, is not amazing, shall we say. That will come with time, though. Okay, so in this area we have a devotion shrine, which I'm going to get. I think that might finish the Eye of Dreeg devotion cluster. Let me have a look. I did apply, okay, so one more here. I did apply these 2 points. I can't remember if I was recording at the time, but these two were the devotion shrines from the Forgotten Gods areas. So that's where they went. You can see the that green nova goes off when I get hit occasionally. There it is again. It's pretty good damage as well. Not amazing, but definitely good. This Forgotten Passage, this little pedestal here, this basically gives you 1 out of 3 before you go underground. Not a big deal if you don't find it, because there are more than enough once you actually get into the underground area. It can also spawn here, and can also spawn just up to the north, near this area, near the devotion shrine. This little hidden area here actually has a fancy chest in it. And the Explorer's trousers are really good. If you have a look at them, they have an XP percentage on them, so you will gain 5% more XP. They have move speed on them, they have poison and acid resistance, and I've made this joke before, but it's kind of not a joke. This is the Locars set that we have at home. I think every piece has percent XP gained on it, and unlike the Locars set, it also has armor and some decent stats on it. It doesn't have the plus to skills that Lokar's has, but yeah, this set is really good. You get two of the, or half of the set is as drops, and the other half is as a blueprint. That little red proc you just saw there, that was the Gluttony Relic. So that's a large portion of our lifesteal now. Probably coming up here soon, I'm going to do the Devotion respec, probably take a few points out of the Ghoul. I do like having Ghoulish Hunger just as a bit of a safety thing, but the 4% attack damage converted to health, we could take these 5 points out because it only gives 4, I think, total, and we've got 2% on our 2% on our relic, and also that lifesteal proc on the relic. And I think there's yeah, this one here will also give us lifesteal. And I was considering getting the Fox, but 6% for 4 points is only marginally better than 4% for 3, so I think we'll do a respec soon, but not exactly now. When we do the respec, I think it's going to be for acid damage instead of life. The other pedestal can be, I think it's here. As I've already found it though, it's not there. And like I said, if you miss it, it's not a big deal. There's plenty of them underground. You just finish it earlier, I guess, if you find the one that's above ground. Okay, so let's fight for our devotion point. This was not very many, actually. I think, maybe I'm misremembering, but I think normally there's a lot more skeletons come out of that. A lot more undead. Right, so 30% poison damage, and the next point we get will be that proc. The next point is going to be at Kilrian, I think his name is? The guy who's at the bottom of this underground complex we're about to go into. I think it's Kilrian. How's our vitality? Yeah, vitality resist is fine. Okay, he's getting healed, so where is the priest? There he is. Alright, that's 26, and 26 means we get a new weapon to play with, so let's go do that. I like new toys. And again, this is going to be a very large boost in damage, so which one did we say? It was this one, the attack speed one. Okay, and I want my add-on back, and I want my add-on back. There we go. I think I just put that on the wrong one, didn't I? I did. Alright, I guess we're melting that one as well. Okay. I think it's that one. I'm wrong. It's not that one. Okay, we're good. So, like I said, Explorer set, very nice. This also means I can take this anti-venom salve off of my boots, and when I get a Mark of the Traveler, I'll put that on the boots. Soul Shards should go on your rings, and Consecrated Wrappings should be on the gloves, so I'm going to take those off of my gloves. The Unholy Inscription, apparently I'm not taking those off of my gloves. I can't remember what happened to all my bits. Don't remember ever being so poor that I couldn't take an item off. Maybe I did too much crafting. Anyway, let's continue on. So coming into the underground section here, going back out again because I forgot to pick up a quest. And I would have to come back later and talk to these guys anyway, so I may as well do it now. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a trek to go around. So you can see those NPCs there on the map. Also, this button here just makes your map bigger. I'm not sure why I didn't have that selected already. Okay, talk to him. What do you want me to do? I will do this. Okay, this quest is just to kill 3 named undead in this next section. And since we were heading that way anyway, we may as well do it. I have 3 more skill points. Kind of thinking... I'm thinking Nidala's justifiable ends for 1 point. And then maybe a little bit more armor, actually. Changed my mind. I want to keep Nidala's hidden hand at the cap, at the soft cap, because it triggers on every single... So if you proc Belgothian Shears, you also get this. If you proc Amaras's Quick Cut, you also get this. If you proc Whirling Death, you also get this. I don't think it procs on Execution. But all these other procs, anytime they trigger, you get the poison damage from that. So it's worth keeping it at the soft cap of 8 points. There is generally what's called cutoffs, or what do they call them? Basically where it stops scaling quite as well, where you get less for each point. And usually those are going to be at the soft cap. I haven't checked for this one. I'm kind of assuming that it is at the soft cap. But it may be slightly lower or slightly higher, where that scaling kind of drops back a bit. For now, I'm just going to leave it at 8 of 8, and if I remember to, I will check it at a later date and make any modifications. So here's another one of the lectins, Forgotten Passage 2 of 3. As I said, if you didn't get the one upstairs, don't stress, but you will have to find one without a star. Down here, there's the Mark of the Traveler that I would put on my boots if I wasn't broke. And actually, if I could get the Explorer's boots to drop, that would be amazing. Generally, I only get 1 piece of that set to drop per character, and I always say, like, this is a really good set. It would be awesome if I could get another piece to drop, and it never does. And usually by the time I find one of the blueprints and I'm able to make the whole set, I'm like level 50, 60, and it's just not good anymore. It's one of those sets that you want to have for leveling alts, and if you find it while you're leveling, it's cool to have, but chances of finding the whole set on a solo self-found character, it's pretty low. So nice to have, but I'm not going to go out of my way to get it. Okay, so here is another lectin. That's me done. Quest complete. Bloodfang oil and a lore note. There it is. Okay, we're just gonna pretend all that doesn't exist. Okay, so here's the first guy, No More Dread. There's 1 guy on this level and 2 on the next, and Kilrian's not part of the quest, but I'm going to kill him anyway. Spectral Longsword is worth hanging on to. I don't know if we're going to need the Haunt Relic, but if you do need the Haunt Relic, you will need one of those Spectral Swords, so if you get one to drop, it's worth keeping one. Same with the Troll Bone Crushers from later, or for later. But again, if you don't get one, it's not a big deal. I'm pretty sure you can buy both of them at the secret shop in the Blood Grove. And usually Haunt is when you're going to buy much later. Okay, I like to drop a portal here, and then head up. So this is the way to continue with the main quest. I'm going to talk to Minerva here and accept her quest. We will be going back to that portal, but I'm going to do a little bit of stuff out here first. For example, there is a devotion shrine. There is the quest that I just picked up, which I will be doing. And there will be getting to the next rift gate, basically. Okay, we can stop killing those, I think. The other thing I was just thinking is maybe we keep the ghoul for constellations, and I'll take the points out of the jackal instead. Or maybe we'll just keep it all, actually. This character is kind of squish at low levels, and having the ghoul early on definitely helps. And it is part of the kind of the plan I had for this character, so it might be worth just keeping it. It will mean that our damage takes a little longer to come online, but I mean, honestly, the damage is not horrible. So yeah, maybe we'll just keep it. So this shrine, actually, I did say that the next shrine would be by Kilrian, and that is kind of true. But we did skip it to come out here. So actually, the next shrine is going to be right here. So this is going to be the eyeball proc done, which is going to be attached to Righteous Fervor. So now there's a decent chance that we'll just have little acid eyeballs orbiting us at all times now. You can see one there, two there, and they're just going to follow us for a certain amount of time. They'll do AoE poison damage pretty much all around us, and yeah, nice little bit of extra damage. The next devotion we're going to work on is the Scorpion. This proc here will be attached to Amarasta's Blade Burst, and it'll just basically, not 100% of the time, but most of the time when you use that, you'll get a poison, kind of like a poison spike nova, if that makes any sense. Similar to what Ganavakar was doing. Again, decent AoE damage. Not amazing, but decent. Okay, so swapping out some of that gear actually cost us a bunch of hit points as well, I just noticed. I'm pretty sure we had 3,000 something, and now we are 2,009, which is not ideal. I was already saying I felt a little bit low in hit points. I think the Oathkeeper bar is pretty good for health. 25 health plus 5 points in physique for each point here, so we'll get a decent amount of health from that. You know what? I forgot to do the, yeah, I don't care. I'll come back for her. I forgot to do the Harpy quest. Not the end of the world. Alright. We will have to go back and do that anyway, so my plan to save a little bit of time has actually cost us a little bit of time, but, you know, whatever, it's fine. Fortunately, not doing a speed run. Okay, I don't think I care about a polished emerald. Just going to run through all of this. Skill points have already been spent. And we just got our devotion, which is nice. Chillheart the Frozen is dead. One thing I'm actually pretty bad at remembering, I'm pretty good at remembering to keep Pneumatic Burst active, but Amaras's Blade Burst actually gives you this buff, Lethal Assault, which is a decent chunk of extra poison damage, and I am really bad about remembering to keep it up. So I've got to be better about that. And I just figured I'd point it out because one, I'm bad, and two, you guys should be doing it as well if you're playing along. It's basically free damage, and I'm really bad about using it. So, and you can really see the single target damage is really taking off. Okay, 27. What do we get at level 27? I am tempted to take more points in Whirling Death, but I'm also kind of want more in Pneumatic Burst, and I want more in Phantasmal Armor, and I want more in here, and yeah. We'll take 1 point in Smite, just for an extra proc. It is definitely worth putting points into Righteous Fervor. However, I think it might be worth this getting Presence of Virtue as well. I think we have points. Consecration. Maybe it was one of the shoulders that I didn't use. I thought there was an item that was giving +3 to Celestial Presence. Let's just see. Well, I didn't get it if there was one. 2 points, 2 points, 2 points. You know what? We do that. The plan I made for this guy as well is not so much laid out to every level. I know exactly which 3 points I'm going to get. It's kind of more like, I want to get these skills in roughly this order. I want this one as soon as I can get it, and this one is nice to have, sort of thing. And I'm kind of weighing that against my life being very, very low. It's probably going to be a couple of levels where I just put points into the Oathkeeper bar just so as I can get some more health and not feel quite so squishy. Although having said that, I mean, it's not as if my life bar is constantly plummeting. Alright, this is Laudos Vagra. This is the next one of the 3 bosses we were sent in here to kill. Do watch out for the ice meteors. They will hurt. It's probably worth dodging out for them. And he's dead. He does turn invisible when it's basically a shadow strike, although seems slower. But he will turn invisible and chase you. So I think what happened there is he disappeared and I thought he was dead from poison, and then he was running over to me to attack me from invisibility, and the balls hit him and he died. Or potentially there was a poison on him. These yellow guys are the priests. If you see them, kill them. They're not such a big deal when all you're fighting is these tiny little skeleton warriors and such. But if you get a boss with, 300 or 400,000 hit points and then suddenly he heals for half his health bar, that's kind of annoying. So I'm 27 and this is actually starting to feel good now. It's only going to get better. Once you get the eyeballs, you've got decent life steal. It's just fun. I'm not sure why, because this is definitely not amazing when it comes to clear, but it is good. See, like this guy's got 36,000 health. If he suddenly healed for 30,000, that would be more than a little bit annoying. We're just going to stay out of that goop on the floor. I say as I run into it to kill something. Alright, blueprints I want. There's the Explorer's Tunic. Okay. So once again, the game makes a liar of me. Right, let's show you something if I can. I don't know if I have enough gold or bits for this, but we'll find out. I don't think I want to use any of this stuff. Nice armor on that. Decent but not amazing resistances. And I'm not sure if the mic's picking it up, but it's just started raining. Okay, Luther Graves. Let's sell all this rubbish to him. That's a lot of fire res, but I don't need it, so he can have that as well. Alright. So what you can do, if I can actually manage to do it, Explorers stuff. Okay, I'm missing dense fur for this. I will only be able to make one of them, and it is very expensive. Is this worth using? 5% XP gain is nice. I will also get 8% total speed, which means attack speed and movement speed, which is also quite nice. What am I going to lose? PS res. I will lose vitality and aether res. Not a big deal. I'll gain a bit of elemental, which was nice. Gain health a little bit. 23 physique is also good. I will make one of these. Dense fur times 1. Explorer's tunic. Okay. So I'm going to put that on. What you can do, if you had the bits, if you had the scrap, this is really low, running out of stuff already. What you can do is, I could make 2 more of these, and then you can come down here to the inventor. And I didn't turn that book in, so I'm going to go do that. But if you remember at the start of the episode when I was running through the first areas, not killing anything, I opened a corpse and it had a book in it. If you bring that book over to... where is he? He's not here. Okay. I did get the book right. Yes, that's the book. Potentially you have to do some other quests in order to get him to... yeah. He could use some help when we finish that. Okay. If you do this quest, you can then come to an inventor, which Dalit in Devil's Crossing is one, and you can take a set item on this transmute, and you can turn it into another piece of the same set. So you can make, I mean, I got a drop, but let's say I only had the blueprint, I could make 4 of them and just keep flipping them until I have the whole set, at which point you get a whole bunch of really cool stuff. I'm going to keep my add-on, chuck that back on there. Okay, oh, I did actually take that off, didn't I? Where is the Mark of the Traveler? There it is. So Mark of the Traveler for a bit more movement speed. You will see my run speed is 135. That is the cap. So you can't get any more than that, which is fortunate because I like moving fast, but that's what you get. 135 is it. Alright. Let's keep going. I kind of want to go kill Ganavakar for another Plague Bearer's weapon, because that Poison Nova is kind of nice. It means you can basically fight the boss, and he's getting healed. I hate those priests, I really do. It means you can fight the boss and all of their friends will just come up, hit you a few times, trigger that, and then die, which is quite nice. And you can see these eyeballs start to stack up. I think I've seen 5 as the maximum, but 4 or 5 are both pretty good. Potentially there's a treasure trove here. Not today, unfortunately. It's interesting. I used Shadow Strike on this big guy and I didn't make it there. I'm definitely noticing my health bar yo-yoing a bit here. That's not a situation I like, especially when I'm feeling this squishy. Only 3,000 hit points is not ideal. Okay, going into Kilrian with 30% vitality res is also not ideal. Do you mind? Okay, what we could do, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to town. I'm going to rip one of the augments off of, or the components off of a ring. That one will do. Keep the item. And I'm going to put a soul shard on there. Soul shards are my kind of default choice for ring components because of the vitality resistance on them. The rest of it is kind of okay, but 40% vitality resist from those two more or less takes care of your vitality resistance for normal, because you're going to find, 9% from something. There's 12% on that ring, there's probably something on the helmet as well. There's not, but I probably have another piece of gear or two with some vitality resist on it somewhere. Having said that, I say that, and I've got nothing. But there's another 10% on the gloves, so, 50% from components. For normal or veteran difficulty, that's kind of enough. More is obviously better, being capped is ideal, but realistically, for this point in the game, 50% is probably fine. So here's Kilrian. He does a lot of vitality damage. If you're lucky, he will drop his... he has a component, goes in your chest slot. He is the only place you can get this component. And it looks like he did not drop it. He did drop another soul shard though, which is nice. So Kilrian's Heart, or Kilrian's Tormented Soul, I think it is actually, is a chest augment which gives you a vitality damage proc that will allow you to leech life from it. So similar to the proc on Gluttony, it does AoE damage, and I think it's like a ring around you or a nova around you, and does vitality damage and leeches based on that damage, so it's pretty good. Let's get started on the Scorpion, and we got the eye. One shot, one kill, two-handed ranged. Alright, so devotions. Scorpion here, 12 offensive ability, not amazing. Percent acid and poison damage, again, not amazing. All this stuff adds up though, and 5 green is nice. Nice to have. Okay, we are done here. And unfortunately, because again I'm bad, we forgot to kill, what's her name? The harpy that's off in the tower. So I'm going to run and kill her, and then continue from there. Okay, a bit of a jog through an area that we've already kind of cleared. There'll be a few things that would have spawned behind us. Be a few things that I ran past, but did kill most of this stuff already. Okay, seems like pneumatic burst is no longer required for run speed, which is nice. Okay, pretty good damage, pretty good. And now we go back to the Broken Hills. We run across the bridge, and the quest giver will give us a free attribute point. Well, I say free, we did a quest for it. It's a reward, so it's not free. But +1 attribute point. I think we just keep putting it into physique. And level 28 might actually be the point at which we just start pumping the Oath Keeper bar. More points in pneumatic burst is always good though. Maybe 1 point there and 2 points here is the way to go. Moving through Oathkeeper, we definitely want to get Ascension. We want Presence of Virtue, actually. I'm going to take 1 point there. It's good to have another buff. This one, basically not a huge deal, but the energy regen and the OA is nice to have. So yeah, moving along, we definitely want Ascension. We want to get Righteous Fervor, and I think is one of these. Yeah, the attack speed is good. This one's mostly retaliation, which is, I don't really care about that, but definitely consecration we want. Judgment is nice to have. The Guardians of Empyrean we're definitely going to want, and I think Path of the Three is going to be our exclusive. So we definitely want to max this out. I think probably Nightblade is done for now. I may get one point in Anatomy of Murder, and potentially a few more in Nidala's Justifiable Ends, and probably max out Pneumatic Burst. But other than that, I think Nightblade is done for now. But this has been quite a long episode, so I'm going to cut it here. So thank you very much for watching. See you all in the next one, and bye for now.